In this video, we're going to look at what is the difference between a coin and a token, and how these things are not actually the same, yet they also have different functions. Let's discover those differences now. Here we go. Hey guys, Coach K here. So today we're going to talk about the difference between a token and a coin, or a coin and a token. So basically a coin is Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dash, Monero, Ethereum. And why are coins different than tokens? Well, coins have their own blockchain, right? Bitcoin has its own blockchain. It keeps all the coins on its blockchain and it shows you digitally where they go to certain addresses, but they don't actually leave the blockchain. So it's all controlled through the decentralized network, right? So the thing is, a token is a little bit different because you build a token on top of a blockchain. So as everyone knows, or maybe doesn't know, Ethereum is where most of the tokens have been made on. Okay, so you go on Ethereum, it's really easy to make a token, you create one, and then you use it for your dApp or your business. We'll talk a little bit more about the use case of different tokens, but basically you can use tokens with someone else's blockchain to do your business, whether it's run a dApp or something else, okay? So, how are coins different? Well, a coin is used to basically store value, so you buy Bitcoin to hold it, transfer money to send money to buy things or receive things, and then as a unit of account, so you can say like, oh, I'm going to charge you 1 Bitcoin for this. So, you know, Bitcoin we can use, and some other coins we can use in different places on the internet now, and so you can buy them and you can price things in Bitcoin. So you see this a lot with groups that are doing signals. They'll say like, oh, it's 0.1 Bitcoin per month or something along those lines. A little bit different part of some coins can do different things. So as we know, Ethereum is a coin, but it also can do things like fuel transactions because you have tokens on their platform, right? So they use gas to fuel the transactions, and basically it funds the mining costs that pays the computers to verify transactions. So this is where the money flow comes in. Neo has staking in their wallets, which give it a dividend of gas. You can also build similar to Ethereum on their blockchain. Not as many people have, but you can. And you pay a transaction fee, their gas. Okay, so finally, Dash is a different one where if you hold a certain amount of Dash, you can actually vote on where the Dash network goes. So that's a pretty cool aspect of that as well. So just a list of some of the coins that you can get: Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, Stellar, and Monero would be just the start. Okay, so there are a lot more coins than that. If you look on Coinmarketcap, I think it's 100 or something, or actually sorry, 900. So it's a lot. But obviously we're only going to use some, and some of them will not be used as much, and those are the coins that won't do as well or will die off. But yeah. There's going to be some payment avenues, but we don't need a million of them, obviously. Before we had just Bitcoin, right? And then Ethereum came up with this idea of a smart contract. And I'm going to talk more about that in another video, but smart contracts, basically, think of them, they're not really that smart, honestly, and they're not really technically a contract by law, but they kind of are a coded contract that, like, say, if you do this, then and you get that. And so it enabled us to do more things, okay? So let's just talk about what this picture has to do with everything. So this picture is crowdfunding website, right? Like Fundly. So before we had ICOs, we had to like do these types of things, and we could raise some money, but not in like the multi-millions most of the time. Now, the cool thing about it is that the initial coin offerings that came out, because of Ethereum have smart contracts and being able to code different things into the contracts to make coins do certain things, that gave us a new avenue to explore the technology a little bit deeper. And so what happened was we had these initial coin offerings come out with unregulated markets, and we had saw some scams and stuff like that. But the whole point is that this is where the token creation started coming from, and this is where we started thinking about using it as applications or decentralized applications on a blockchain or a side chain, potentially even. So there's different types of tokens. Obviously, security tokens are like basically a regular stock. They follow similar jurisdictions and security laws. Equity tokens there's some regulatory compliant issues with that because it's hard to say. But basically, equity is like a stock. You own part of the company. Utility tokens are application tokens. So these are things like basic attention token. If you use the Brave browser, you get benefits. If you bought WePower token, you can buy it to buy electricity. If you were a part of Civic, you could use it to verify your information without having to like go through all the bureaucratic garbage. That's hopefully where we get to. And then payment tokens obviously are to use to pay for things. So those are the types of tokens that we have, and FINMA came out with that in February 2018. So the ICO market in 2018 was absolutely massive still, even though it wasn't as big as 2017. The start of 2018, it was huge. So we see all these big projects come out, and a lot of money goes into these massive projects. And what happens is we have some scams come out of it, and so people get scammed and all that stuff. But what also came out of it was all these great applications that started coming. And what I mean started, because it's just not there yet. The user experience isn't good enough. But that's why it's so opportunistic to be in now, because that's where we're going to go. I mean, think about the first applications you had on your mobile phone. You used to play Snake. Now you can pretty much play games that you played on your computer like 5 years ago on your phone. And that's the kind of crazy stuff that's happening. And crypto is going to do the exact same thing with blockchain technology and AI. These are going to explode. So what we had before was ISPs to data centers and in apps. dApps are like we all kind of connect with each other and verify each other and do things to decentralize together. And we don't have to rely on a data center, which can get hacked, like we've seen with Sony get hacked, and Google gets hacked, and Facebook got hacked, and all these hacks happen and you lose your data. With ISPs, it's harder to hack if you only use a decentralized network. It still can happen, but on a decentralized network, it's harder for people to cheat. So that's a really beneficial thing. And then we have just an example of 2.0 to 3.0, why they talk about dApps, because basically we all work together as a system. This stuff will get bigger and bigger over time, because it's going to create an ecosystem of decentralized apps that are eventually easier and better than the apps we have now, which is what's going to take. Now I'm going to show you something else. So let's go to Coinmarketcap. So if you ever wondered which coins are coins, which tokens are tokens, go to coins only and go to the top 100, and you can find all the actual coins that exist on the network, right? So we can see all the different blockchains here, because as you know, they have to have their own blockchain to be a coin, but there's many coins, okay? And likewise, you can do with tokens. And the cool thing with tokens is you can actually see where they were made on. Mostly Ethereum, you'll see there'll be like NEM and NEO sometimes. There it is, and Stellar. But these are all going to just get expanded on over and over. All the great decentralized apps that people think are going to come out are going to come out, some of them through US and some of them from ETH and some of them from a lot of these networks that are going to continue to build. Yeah, that's basically what the difference is between a coin and a token. So I hope that makes a lot of sense. We talked a little bit about ICOs, initial coin offerings. Basically these companies offer that they are going to create this coin and you're going to buy it and you'll be able to use it on their platform, or use it for their dApp, or use it for their game, or to use it to gamble, or something along those lines, okay? And so that's what the ICO created, is another way to crowdfund. And we'll talk more about the differences between, different blockchains and stuff later. But what the whole point you needed to understand from this video was that smart contracts created the ability to make different projects on Ethereum, which made us easier for us to make tokens to do other things on different platforms that we created. And the other point to take away is that a token is just built on top of a second layer of the blockchain. So if I use Bitcoin as example, if I want to build on Bitcoin, I have to then do it some way through Rootstock. But if I use Ethereum, I can build easily a token on Ethereum or Neo and then do an initial coin offering, for example. But really, the issue is we only need a certain amount of tokens, and we only need a certain amount of coins, and we're going to find out in the future which ones really are the Microsoft, the Apples, and the Googles of our time. So that's what the differences are, guys. Go do the quiz. I'll see you guys in the next video. Coach K, signing out.
Fat kiddo, fat kiddo, huge fat kiddo.